Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick show. We're doing more of our Posthomerica artwork, and we're gonna do chapter 5 here. What I want to do real quick is, let's do a duplicate. Can we do a duplicate? Yes. We're gonna duplicate this and put this in the old folder, wherever that is. I don't see the old folder. Oh, there it is. Because we want to have a backup of what we had. Unfortunately, I wasn't doing this, from the outset, but for most of them we have duplicates, and I'm pretty sure Photoshop auto backs up a lot of this stuff. Or rather, you can just step through the changes. So we'll just take what we got. Okay, so off the bat, I think we can reuse what we did for the background in this picture. Maybe we'll just flip it horizontal so that it doesn't look identical. Or resize some layers or something, but I don't think there's any reason that we would need to entirely redo this. I think the work we did here is pretty damn good. We're not going to use it on every picture, but because this one kind of it's part of the same storyline or whatever as this one, I think it would make sense to reuse it. Boom. Looking good. Okay. Now we can screw around a little bit. Let's see what happens if we use this color. Don't love that. Okay. So let's just take every layer, not this one, and we're just going to flip them. And so then at least if you're looking at it, flipping through all the pictures, you won't be like, hey, this one has the same exact background as the other one. I'm also gonna, let's find which layer this is. Is that this? Yeah. I'm gonna get rid of a couple of elements that sort of stick out in this composition, because obviously it's not the same picture. So a lot of the things that worked in the other one may have been covered up, or may have worked because of the composition in the other one, but they don't necessarily work here. So we're just gonna make a few changes, and that's good enough for now. So what's interesting is we have this kind of wash texture for the tree, and the interesting thing about that is that is a different discipline than the other stuff. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to approach that, but it's not the same artistic method. Now as for this, I want to make a couple of quick changes here. because when we chip away this white layer, I want there to be black behind it. Oh, it's only selecting the pixels that have already been... Okay, that doesn't work. But this does work, so... we can go back to what we did. Turn this off. We're just going to make that pretty dark. And that'll come into play later. Essentially, we want to get all the work done now in designing stuff, and then we do the weathering. We don't want to do them out of order because it kind of makes it a little hard to do what we want to do. Okay, let's turn this off. Let's give it a little bit of leeway. Great. Okay. Now, do we want to change anything about the design? I don't really think so. Maybe you just clean up a little bit of the line work on AIAS. Oh, I love the look of his sword there. That's cool. So the names I don't know that we need. Let's take a quick look if we have... we do. I do have a picture that shows Odysseus's name as well, and it doesn't look like this one. So this is another instance where we used modern Greek, not, ancient Greek. So we're going to redo the names. And the borders here are not sufficient, so we're going to have to redesign the borders. I don't really know what we're going to do for that. Yeah, the borders, I don't think we have to redesign them now, but I probably still should, just in case it affects something. Why can't I double click this? Okay, so these three things we're going to put into a group. What do we got here? It's this. These are like the wash colors. We're going to put those in a group. And this is the outline. Good. The sheep outline I think looks fine. I don't think we need to change that. think his foot is a little thick. The outline's a little thick here. So maybe we'll just trim that up. Also, the heel is kind of strange. Oh, I see why. It's because he doesn't actually have a back of his leg. He only has the, Greave, yeah. Vambrace is the thing on the arm, Greave is the thing on the leg. So that's his musculature. Everything else I think looks good. He's got the hair looks, I like the design we did for this because we gave him the same hair and cape that he had in the other picture, but we made the hair, even though it still has all the details like the other, it's all disheveled, which you don't really see in Greek art, but I think it works well in ours. Yeah, everything's looking good. I'm going to make his, right arm a little bit thicker here. Okay. Do we have we have bones turned on. Great. I think the eyes are good to go. I think the figures are good. We want to change the names. Let's do something here. We're going to copy the text from the other. We're still going to redraw it, but I want to at least match the sizing. Let's just copy the... What the heck? Oh no, I opened the wrong one. It'd be interesting if we did a different color scheme for this picture. If it was like more red, and it could kind of like reflect his rage. So we'll see about that. First, we're just gonna do the names real quick. There we go. Now for Odysseus, we want to spell it as there we go. We'll get rid of this, which is the original one. Get rid of these two. We'll just group them and turn them off. Now for this one, we're going to put it and for Odysseus, we're going to put him... I do like his one being vertical here. Okay. Now, let's experiment with trying to do another edition of this background, but with a darker color scheme, like a redder color scheme. And this is going to be a little tough for me because I don't really have a reference for it. We're going to be doing some major kind of like color theory stuff. I think what we were doing, we had like a 2500 size brush, and we were putting in with hard presses, sort of like that. We want there to be a gradient of some sort going to the top. Okay. See, it's interesting because orange ends up looking like yellow when it's on top of this red. you go. Okay. I like this so far. Geez, there's a lot of helicopters mobilizing at the moment in LA. Yeah, this should be fine. Okay. I think this one might be a little bit too much. Let's get rid of a couple of the things here. Good. Then why is this not showing up? Oh, it's because I'm using the eraser tool. Okay, so that's a little too much. Yeah, something like that. Good. We achieved what we were trying originally to do, but I think it doesn't necessarily work conceptually because it no longer gets the look of a piece of pottery. So let's see if we can do a couple tweaks. Otherwise, we're gonna possibly scrap this idea and go back to what we had. All right, let's also weaken, whoa, oh, damn, that's my fault, didn't save it. Oh, well, ain't that something? Knock on wood, but it seems to have saved. It looks like we just lost the one layer of dark stuff. Did we lose? Okay, it looks like it stopped us in the middle of when we were doing this. So we lost a couple of steps, but we're pretty lucky here. Jeez, I'm kind of curious to find out what's happening. Whoa. How is it being so forceful? Okay, let's save this real quick. Let's also see how big the thing is. I think it just got a huge amount bigger. Let's take a look. This is currently 222 megs. The backed up version was 33 megs. So yeah, it's way bigger. Doesn't look bad as of now, however. I would like to try a couple more things. Thematically, I love the idea that it's like his fury is turning the pottery redder than it would have otherwise been. In these areas, we need to lose some of that opacity of this thing. Good. I think that works. Now, let's just see if we're going to keep this idea or if we're going to go with this. Yeah, I mean, this one clearly has a better thematic resonance than the other one. Okay, now let's get to designing some borders. What do we want to do here? Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay, this one has a border that looks kind of like the sheep's sort of coat or whatever. Let's look at our borders here. This is 3 of them. Okay. Oh, these are rasterized. Okay, we can't really use any of them then. Oh, wait, no. They're not rasterized. Because we're probably not going to use... Yeah, whatever we do, we're probably going to have it like this. Stand by. Okay. I would like for the borders to be less thick than the top and bottom. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Okay, so let's just do our thing with this. You know what? No, actually, let's first do the background part of it. That'll make it easier to do what we gotta do. Okay. So for this, we're going to leave them a little bit separated because it looks like we got to do a little work on this. Although, hold on. Does this match? Yeah, it seems like it does. So now we're just going to take the edge and make it fit. Whoa, I forgot that the eraser is still huge. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a cool sort of a design that looks a little more like non-geometric, like not as planned out. And that's kind of nice for this one where he's suffering from hallucinations and stuff. It kind of fits. Oh, crap. Okay, so we're going to deal with that. First, let's come up with some kind of border thing for this. Okay, first let's merge these so they're on the same layer. Good. Now we're going to create a mask. We're going to mask out where it hits this. Why is this not doing what I want? Okay, now let's mask this. Oh, you know what it is? It's the bones. I forgot I had those turned on. There you go, yeah. And again, this is great because it still exists, what we're erasing. We're not erasing the layer, we're just masking it so that we can turn it off and on at will. So now let's come up with some design for this corner. Also, are we able to move this without changing the mask? It looks like it. Nope, it moves the mask with it. Well, that's okay, we can fix the mask. But what we want to do, let's just get rid of the mask for now on this layer. What we want to do is, you can see that this was before we came up with our thing. So you can see here's like a very digital line where this cuts off. We don't want that. Did we get it in one? I believe we did. Great. Merge this. Now these are connected. And we can put this back up there. Didn't get it in one, okay. We have to go across and just make sure. Because when we used to duplicate this and combine them, they wouldn't line up 100%, so you'll see like little seams every once in a while. And this thing we're doing where we put black against the border essentially prevents that, but we still have to go back and fix the mistakes we made previously before we did the black against the border idea. So yeah, you can see here that there's this seam, this seam there, which obviously we don't want. So you can see the seam keeps getting bigger because we weren't accurate. Later in the game, we figured out a way to do it so that it doesn't have any variation. But we had not figured that out by this point. Okay, so it's looking good. Now, let's come up with a border design, or corner design. So we got our maskless out again. Oh, and then for this we gotta draw. Does this not work? Oh, I'm masking in the wrong layer. Yeah, because we made this border a little bit smaller. We don't have to get too fancy here. Maybe we could just do some kind of like with like a little I gotta turn off the guides a little bit for this. Yeah, it's kind of cool. The only problem is that we should match the size of the borders here. So for now I'm going to take this, actually cut this, put it on a different layer. I should probably just redraw this. So yeah, this should match the thickness of the borders in the other areas like this and this. Okay. So I'm going to take this, let's put it in a little group, copy paste this. I don't know why I didn't just duplicate it. Now we're going to take it wherever it landed. Where did it land? There we go. Okay. And it looks like we also have to switch this because the rough side is on the other side. Yep. Okay. Good. So we're going to merge these down now. And I guess we can't merge them with the... Well, we can, because we don't need the masks to stay forever. We just needed them while we were making this. We'll leave it for now. And then we're going to make the bottom layer. See, this is kind of deceiving because we're trusting that our original line was straight, but who knows if it was. Okay. So we have two. I'm using a piece for reference here. Okay. This is an interesting design that I don't fully understand. First of all, I need to work on it in a spot where there's more space. Okay. And good. Okay, so the design for this thing is... It would go like this and this. The Greeks came up with so many ways to do like a crazy looking square pattern. And they all kind of look the same from far away, but they're all very different. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Touch them together? No, I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's better like that. Okay. Cool. So we're going to do a bottom pattern that looks like that, and I think that'll work pretty well. We're going to work on weathering the characters. We're off to a great start with this one. Let's give it a save while we're closing out. So we're going to keep working on this on the next one. Thanks for joining, ladies and gents. The channel's called The Voice of Nick. If you want to see more, don't forget to hit the follow button.